Hi there, BookTube. This is Caitlin Bandy from my channel Bandy's Books, and today we're doing something a little bit different. Apparently, there is a new bookstore here in Las Vegas. I have been seeing a couple posts on Instagram about it lately, and I thought I would come and check it out. This is Buffy's Book Boutique, and it looks really cute. I think they have a lot of kids' books. I know that they have a pup that is in the store, and I think they have some games and things as well, aside from just books. So I'm here today. We're gonna go in and take a look and see what Las Vegas's new bookstore has to offer. So I've finished my trip to the bookstore. You've got to see their fantastic Lego displays, all of their art on their walls, and even their namesake Buffy, who is sweet as pie. You can see I ended up with a ton of books, some of them by recommendation and some of them just things that I picked out off of the shelf. We will go home now and I will show you what I got. So what a fantastic bookstore. It is so exciting to see a new place open up in Las Vegas. We have some really great bookstores here already, but I don't feel like we have the amount of bookstores that I have found in some of the other cities that I have visited. So I am really happy to see one opening up, and especially one that's so cute. I just loved the way that the store was decorated. As you could probably see in the videos, there was tons of murals and like Legos and all sorts of fun stuff that makes this a little bit more than just like the typical aisles of books in a bookstore. I also love that Buffy is there working on a day-to-day basis. When I first came in, she was taking a nap in the back room and I didn't want to disturb her. But by the time that I was leaving, they were like, oh, it's okay, we can wake her up and she can come say hi. And she's just a sweet, fluffy little face. So if you're there and Buffy is awake and doing her duties, then make sure you go and say hi to her because she is such a good girl. So that being said, let's go ahead and look at the books that I picked up. I really liked the selections that they had at Buffy's boutique. They are working on expanding their collection. I talked with the owner and she was mentioning that, you know, she's looking for recommendations for people that are avid readers, but They had a great nonfiction display, which I don't see a lot of bookstores like really showing off their nonfiction. So I loved that. I ended up with some really fantastic nonfiction recommendations from them. Their fiction wall was also really great. I loved seeing how diverse it was. There was a lot of different genres. It was organized in a way that was easy to navigate. I could have ended up buying a ton of books, but as you know, my shelves are limited, so I tried to keep it in control. Let me show you which books I ended up picking up. So I was recommended The Heart Goes Last by Margaret Atwood. Me and the owner of Buffy's were discussing Margaret Atwood, and she'd asked if I'd read The Handmaid's Tale. I said yes, I really enjoyed that. And then she asked how I felt about Atwood's other works. And honestly, I've only read The Handmaid's Tale and Oryx and Crake, which I didn't love Oryx and Crake. So she suggested this one, The Heart Goes Last. She said that it is one of her favorite books from Margaret Atwood. I'm not super familiar with it. It says that Stan and Charmaine, a young urban couple, have been hit by job loss and bankruptcy in the midst of a nationwide economic collapse. Forced to live in their third Honda, where they are vulnerable to roving gangs, they think the gated community of Consilience might be the answer to their prayers. If they sign a life contract, they'll get a job in a lovely house for 6 months out of the year. On alternating months, residents must leave their homes and serve as inmates in the positron prison system. At first, this seems worth it. They will have a roof over their heads and food on the table. But when a series of troubling events unfold, positron begins to look less like a prayer answered and more like a chilling prophecy fulfilled. So this sounds really interesting. Again, this is one of those books that was under my radar. I feel like I should have read more of Atwood's books, and I haven't. So I'm excited that this was a recommendation. This was a used book as well, so nice and economical. Then I picked up Every Drop is a Man's Nightmare by Megan Kamalei Kakimoto. So this was not a book that I was familiar with, but the cover of it was really striking and it caused me to pick it up. And then I read the description and was like, oh, that sounds super interesting. So Megan Kamalei Kakimoto's Hawaii is a place where unruly sexuality and generational memory overflow the postcard image of paradise and the boundaries of the real, where the superstitions born of the islands take on the weight of truth. A childhood encounter with a wild pua or pig on the haunted Pali highway pretends one young woman's fraught relationship with her pregnant body. An elderly widow begins seeing her deceased lover in a giant flower. A Kanaka writer, mid-manuscript, feels her raw pages quaking and knocking in the briefcase. So this is a short story collection, if you couldn't tell, and honestly, this one sounds like it is right up my alley. I love the description. I'm so looking forward to diving into this. Then I picked up Thirst by Marina Yuszczuk. So this is a translated fiction from an Argentinian author, and honestly, Argentinian literature has been my jam recently. I just read Our Share of the Night, which I love. I just picked up Tender as the Flesh, which I'm so excited about. This one sounds fascinating as well. This is across 2 different time periods. 2 women, one vampire, one mortal, confront a yearning that will not let them rest. It is the twilight of Europe's bloody bacchanals, of murder and feasting without end. In the 19th century, a vampire arrives from Europe to the coast of Buenos Aires and watches as a village transforms into a cosmopolitan city. She must adapt, intermingle with humans, and be discreet. In present-day Buenos Aires, a woman finds herself at an impasse as she grapples with her mother's terminal illness and her own relationship to motherhood. When she first encounters the vampire in a cemetery, something ignites inside the 2 women, and they cross a threshold from which there is no turning back. Sounds really fantastic. This is a book that I've been eyeballing for quite a while. I saw it on NetGalley when it first came out, and I was looking forward to trying to read it. Unfortunately, I did not get the ARC of it, but I'm excited to have picked it up now. And then I picked up a copy of a book that I have already read, but I've been wanting to add to my bookshelves because it was that damn good. And that's The Reformatory by Tananarive Due. I read this, I think, a month ago, and it has honestly really stuck with me. This is a haunting book. It's got some gothic horror elements, but it's really, the horror comes from being anchored in reality. This is based on a true story. In fact, it is based on a distant family member of Tananarive Due, and that makes it all the more horrific. This is how you blend genres. You take horror and historical fiction and you make magic. This was my first time reading Due, and I don't know how she's gonna top it. I'm really excited to start digging into her backlist because this was excellent. And then I picked up The Demon of Unrest by Erik Larson. This is a nonfiction book, and it is a saga of hubris, heartbreak, and heroism at the dawn of the Civil War. So Erik Larson is really well known for his narrative nonfiction. He writes about really interesting topics, and he writes in a way that makes it like you're almost reading a historical fiction, except it's all anchored in reality. I have read all of his books in the past and really, really enjoyed them. I don't know so much about Civil War history, so I'm looking forward to taking a peek into this book. This is a powerful and unforgettable memoir about a girl who escapes her childhood as a preschool drug dealer in rural Indiana, only to find that no one can really make it out until they make peace with where their story began at home. So this sounds really powerful. It's a pretty short read. I was told that this is the kind of thing that you binge because it's so well written, and that topic sounds really interesting. I do think that it is important to make peace with one's past and one's home in order to move forward in life. So I'm looking forward to getting into this. And then the second recommendation that I received from the ladies at Buffy's was Valiant Women by Lena Andrews, the extraordinary American servicewomen who helped win World War II. So this is a topic that I really love. I have actually read a couple books recently about women who have been involved in conflicts and not received the recognition that they deserve. Most of them have been historical fiction, but this is a non-fiction version of that, and I'm so interested to dive in. So this is a revelatory new history that illuminates the forgotten role of American servicewomen in World War II, chronicling their heroic and essential contributions to the Allies' victory. It is the story of the 350,000 American women who served in uniform during World War II. So I, again, am really excited to learn about this. I feel like there is a gap in teaching in terms of World War II, where it's mostly focused on the men fighting and not on the women that are supporting. I am so excited about this. I think it is so important for us to take a look back at history and recognize the people that didn't necessarily get the recognition that they deserved in the moment they deserved it. I don't want this type of history to be forgotten, and so I think it's a really important read. I'm so glad that this was suggested to me. I'm really looking forward to getting into it. So that is the end of this video. I hope that you really enjoyed seeing Buffy's Book Boutique. I know that I certainly enjoyed visiting it. I love going to any bookstore any chance I get. I don't really need an excuse, but it's really fun to see a new one open up and get to go check it out. If you're in the Las Vegas area and you want to check out Buffy's, I will have their address, phone number, and website linked in the description below. And make sure again that you say hi to Buffy while you're there. So that being said, if you liked the video, hit the thumbs up, comment down below, and let me know what you think of Buffy's. Does it look cute? What books would you like to pick up? Anything that you'd be looking for if you went to the bookstore? And if you're not already subscribed to this channel, you know what to do. Hit that subscribe button down below, as well as the notification bell, so that you never miss a video, and that way we can see each other again soon. Thanks so much for joining. Bye.